right. So thank you for joining Stretchy Pants Yoga. My name is Emmeline. We're going to do a short little session today just to allow you to get your bearings on some of the verbiage and some of the poses. If at any point there's any confusion, please, I encourage you to pause the video and rewind it as necessary. And just repeat this video as needed, really until you feel a good comfortability without having to look at the screen with some of the cues that we have. So we're going to start off in extended child's pose. We're going to bring our feet together, big toes together, knees as wide as the mat. Stretch your arms overhead. Really press into all 10 fingerprints here. Allow the hips to melt back to the heels. And this is where you'll ignite your Ujjayi breath, giving yourself a slight restriction in the back of your throat, as if you're fogging up a mirror or making the sound of an ocean wave. This will allow you to find deepening in your inhales and elongating your exhales. Some of the poses might be a little more tricky to do this, but we really want to try to find a longer exhale than our inhale, and really breathing the inhale deep diaphragmatically into our belly. Just allow yourself to surrender here. Let go of the day thus far if you're practicing in the morning. Just let go of what you have to do for the rest of the day. And if you practice in the evening, allow yourself to be present and not focus on what you've already done through today. On your next inhale, rise up into tabletop position. You'll bring your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hip points. Make sure your toes are in line with your knees here. Really engage the core to find length through the back of the spine. Gaze will be towards the top of the mat to find length through the back of the neck here. And we're really going to spread our fingertips wide like starfish, pressing into all of your knuckles here. And this will help alleviate some of the pressure on your wrists. On your next inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone to the sky to cow. Really finding length through the collarbones. Exhale to cat, rounding through the spine, curling the tailbone under and bringing the crown of the head towards the ground. You'll really press away from the earth with the tops of your feet, knees, and hands. Inhale back to cow, dropping the belly, tailbone to the sky. Exhale to cat, as if you're a Halloween cat, really doming through the upper back body here, chin to chest. Inhale to cow, and we'll go through this for a few cycles of breath. Exhaling to cat, and inhaling to cow. And this is where we're really just feeling into our body. So you might tuck your hips to the right as you look over your left shoulder. Come to the chest center. Hips to the left as you look over your right shoulder. You may feel a deep stretch through the side bodies while you're doing this. On your next inhale, place your hands one handprint forward. Curl your toes under. And as you exhale, again, continue to find core engagement here. And we're really going to lift from our hip points, our sits bones, all the way up into the sky. You'll press away from the earth here, and I encourage you to just to take a look at the video. We don't want to be dumping into our shoulders like this. We just really want to press away from the earth. And we're not going to force our neck or our head to do anything here. We're just going to have it really in line with our arms. Give yourself a generous bend in your knees. The goal is to have your heels reaching towards the ground, but not necessarily needing to touch the ground. Find cycles of breath. You can straighten one leg and then the other. Walk your dog out. And once you're ready, bring your gaze towards the top of your mat between your hands. And slowly bring your feet to your hands. You can cross over your legs. You can jump up to your hands. Whatever your body calls for today. And once you get there, bring your feet hip width apart or wider. If you're not quite sure where hip width is, you can bring 2 fists together and bring them between your feet. And again, we're going to keep a generous bend in our knees here, coming to a ragdoll forward fold. You can clasp opposite pinky to elbow here as you slowly rock side to side. And allowing this rocking will give you a sensation in all 4 corners of your feet to really feel what it feels like to root down. If you find yourself gripping in your toes, I encourage you just to lift your toes off the mat. Again, really feeling what it feels like in your heels and the balls of your feet to truly root down. On your next inhale, you can keep your feet where they're at, or you can bring them flush together. You're going to slightly drop your hips down, engage your core, and slowly roll up the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. You can trace your fingers over your legs here. Last thing to lift is your head, and once you get there, go ahead and roll your shoulders. Palms facing forward, Tadasana, mountain pose. We'll really find a core engagement to find length through the spine. We don't want our pelvis dumping in or out. Just really finding that neutral spine. Softening through the shoulders, slightly tucking your chin here to find length in the back of your neck once again. You can slightly lift your kneecaps to find engagement in your quads. And as you inhale, slightly bend your knees, find some buoyancy here, and reach your arms overhead, extended mountain. Pinkies will spiral inward as if you're holding a big beach ball overhead. Again, continue finding that core engagement. Act as if you're pulling your navel towards your lower rib cage. And exhale, you can bring your palms together here as you slice down the midline for a forward fold. You really bend your knees here. You'll hinge at your hips. And on your next inhale, come to a standing halfway lift. Bring the weight into the balls of your feet. Palms can be to your shins, your thighs, or airplane arms. Really squeezing your shoulder blades together, slightly tucking your chin to find length through the spine again. And really find core engagement here. We don't want to be dumping into our lower back, but really lifting up here. And exhale, come down to forward fold. This time we're going to plant our palms, really spread them wide like starfish, and step back into a push-up position, coming to plank pose. For plank pose, we really want to reach our heels towards the back of the mat, press away from the earth and doming through the upper back body. And again, we don't want to be sagging here, but really engaging the core to lift up away from the earth. If you feel shaking and trembling here, that's completely normal. You're building that muscle memory, moving that prana, that life force energy through your body. And as you exhale, slightly rock onto your toes and lower all the way to the ground. Flip onto the tops of your feet here and bring your palms in line with your rib cage, tucking your elbows in as if they're little grasshopper legs. And from here, we'll really press into your feet, the tops of your feet, press into your pubic bone and roll up into a baby cobra. Little to no weight in your hands. Again, tucking the back of your chin to find length through the back of the neck and really engaging those back muscles. Curl the toe, exhale. Curl the toes under. Inhale to lift your kneecaps, engage your quads. And exhale, hips up high and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze towards the top of your mat once again. And exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. You can use little steps or you can hop to the front. Awesome. This time we'll inhale, standing halfway lift. Bring your palms to your shins or thighs. Weight in your feet. Weight in the balls of your feet. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain, bending your knees, pressing away from the earth, arms reach overhead. This time, exhale, bring your palms together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. I encourage you to set an intention for today's practice. The theme for today is compassion, and I encourage you to allow each inhale to really feel compassion through each cell of your body. And with each exhale, let go of any areas of resistance or judgment that may arise, whether that be in the mind or body. Let's take an inhale to seal that into the practice today. Exhale, rooting down through your heels. Inhale, find some buoyancy in your knees. Arms reach overhead, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold again, bending your knees, hinging at your hips and leading with your heart down to the mat. Awesome. Plant your palms firmly and step back into the plank position once again. And this is called our half series. So for our half series, we have a couple different options. We can do what we just did, going from high plank all the way to the belly, inhaling to cobra, and then exhaling to down dog. The other option is going from high plank or half plank into a chaturanga dandasana. So this is a half plank here, and this is where you lower no more than 90 degrees, really hugging the elbows into the side body, flipping to the tops of your feet, and then inhaling to an upward facing dog here. So really with upward facing dog, the only thing touching the mat is your hands and the tops of your feet. And then exhale, hips up high and back to downward facing dog. Awesome. From here, lift your right leg, coming to a three-legged down dog, really rooting down through the left heel, pressing into both palms evenly to square off through the shoulders. And then exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose and step the right foot up into a low lunge. You can lower the back knee here. You're going to stack your front knee over front ankle. And this is again where we're just really feeling into our body today. So we want to round through the shoulders, roll the shoulders, and find length through the spine. You can extend your right leg, really surf it out. We're really just feeling into each side of the body today. Sending breath into the outer front left hip crease. This is where we feel a lot of tightness, especially if you work at a desk every day. So just sending breath to those areas allows that to really find more length and loosening in the muscles. Awesome. Let's come back to a low lunge. This time curl the back toes under. Inhale, lift the back knee. And then we're going to pivot on our back foot, having the knife edge parallel to the back of the mat. Engage your core here as we spiral up into our warrior two. Again, front knee stacks over front ankle here. I encourage you to take a look at your knee. If it's spilling in, go ahead and manually adjust that to be tracing over your front toes. If you feel your left hip rolling forward, that's a completely natural movement, and you can allow that to happen. Arms are reaching to the front and back edge of the room, and really find length through the fingertips. This is a full body experience here. Again, we're really pressing into the knife edge of that back foot. Exhale, sink just a little lower. Inhale, reach your torso forward. Exhale, extended side angle. You'll have your arms to 6 and 12 here, pressing your right elbow into the right knee. Another option is to slightly rest your elbow onto your knee, but you don't want to be dumping here. We really want to find length through both side bodies, finding that resistance with the lower arm and the knee. Your gaze can be down, out in front, or towards the sky. Continue finding that core engagement. We don't want to be dumping into our lower back, but really pulling everything in here. Let's take one more deep breath in and out. And on your next inhale, we're going to stay in warrior two in the lower half. As we inhale, reaching our right arm towards the back of the room, you can slightly rest your left palm on the inside of your left knee. On your inhale, really spiral your heart, opening up towards the sky here. And exhale, cartwheel all the way down. Step the right toes back into a plank pose and go through your half series. You can go from high plank or half plank, inhaling to upward dog or cobra. And exhale, hips up high and back, downward dog. Other side here, as you inhale, lift your left leg, really rooting down through your right heel. Pressing into both palms evenly. We don't want to be wonky on both sides of the shoulders, but really squaring off through the shoulders here. Act as if you're pressing that heel into an imaginary wall. Exhale, squeeze left knee to your nose into center and step it up into a low lunge, lowering the back knee. Again, you can come off of your hands here, just come to your fingertips. Front knee stacks over front ankle to find length through the spine here. Again, you can surf it out, straightening your left knee, really pulling back through the hip crease here. Curl the back toes under. Inhale, lift your knee. Pivot on the back foot, knife edge parallel to the back of the mat. Front knee stacks over front ankle. Inhale, warrior two on the other side. Stacking head over heart, heart over pelvis. Again, that right hip can roll forward if that's what your body allows today. If not, you can have them opening up just a bit. Really reaching your arms towards the front and back of the room. Gaze is over your front middle fingers. Exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale, reach the torso forward. Exhale, extended side angle on the other side, really pressing the left elbow into the left knee or using it as a bit of a rest here, finding length through both side bodies. We really want to be pulling the shoulder back. We don't want to just be dumping here, but really pulling it back. And over time, it may take a while to find that length, but that's okay. The goal is just to visualize that. It's not to look like the picture perfect pose. Let's take one more breath in and out here. And on your next exhale, again, you'll find the same lower half positioning for warrior two as you pull your left fingers towards the back of the mat for a reverse warrior. On your inhale, really spiraling the heart towards the sky, resting the right palm on the inside of the right knee. And exhale, cartwheel all the way down. Plant the palms, step the left toes back. And you can go through your half series here, going from high plank, lowering all the way to the belly, or half plank. Inhaling to your upward dog or cobra. I'm in cobra right now. And exhale, hips up high and back, downward dog. This time lower to the knees. We're not going to crash down, but really find an intentional movement here. Slowly bringing the knees to the earth. Swing the legs to one side and come to a seated position on your mat. As we prepare for our core poses, we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Find length through the spine here, knees wide. And then we're going to exhale, lowering all the way onto our backs. And the goal here is to have the lower back flush with the mat. So if you need to pull your knees up to allow that to happen, I encourage you to do so. Interlace your fingers and bring them behind your head. Take a deep inhale, a long exhale. And we're not going to be crunching our elbows in here, but on the exhale, while we find engagement in the core, really pulling everything in, we're going to lift our chest towards the sky. So let's take an inhale together. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 1. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 2. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 3. Inhale to lower. You can bring the soles of your feet to the ground. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth, one way and then the other. This will give you a slight massage in the glutes. Sending breath deep into your belly here. Awesome. And once you're ready, grab the backs of your thighs and rock and roll up and down the spine. Let's do 3 rounds here. And once you're finished, you'll come up to a seated position as we prepare for our boat variation. For boat, your toes can be on the ground or lifted. The hands can be on the backs of the thighs or palms facing the sky here. And we don't want to be really rounding through the chest, but we want to find length and openness through the chest, really allowing that compassion to flow through our body. This will allow you to find a deep core engagement through the obliques, the transverse abdominis. And you can point your toes, flex your toes, or what some of my teachers have said is floint, doing a little bit of both. We'll stay here for a few cycles of breath. If you're looking for more of a challenge today, you can exhale, lowering to low boat. Inhale, come back to high boat, or you can straighten the arms and legs. And let's everybody take a deep inhale and exhale, letting everything go, coming back to a seat. Awesome. Cross both legs over and come back onto all fours here. Awesome. From here, we're going to do a little bit of bird dog. So straighten your right leg, really tick-tock up and down, finding stretching through the calf here. Again, we're not going to be rolling into the spine, but finding length through the core. And as you inhale, you can lift that right leg as you straighten your left arm. Exhale, pulling knee and elbow into center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pulling elbow to knee. Last one, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, pulling elbow to knee. Awesome. Plant your palm and your knee here. Move on to the other side. Inhale, left leg lengthens as you find a stretch through your calf. Awesome. You can lift the left toes here and engage, finding length through the right arm as well. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Let's bring elbow to knee, squeezing everything in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. And last one, exhale, squeezing everything in, elbow to knee. Plant your left knee in your right palm. And again, you can tick-tock the hips left and right here, just finding a bit more movement. Move the hands, one handprint forward once again. Curl the back toes under. And exhale into downward dog, hips up high and back. Inhale, three-legged down dog, right leg lifts. Again, act as if you're pressing that heel into an imaginary wall. Exhale, bend your knee. And inhale, stack opening up through the hips. Again, we're not going to be dumping into one shoulder or the other, but really pressing into both palms evenly to find a squaring off in the shoulders. Inhale, come back to a three-legged down dog, dialing the right toes towards the ground. And this time we're going to squeeze our right knee into our nose, and then we're going to step our right shin between our palms. Come onto the top of the back foot. Look over your left shoulder to ensure alignment of the back leg as we prepare for half pigeon. You're going to engage through both toes here. Inhale, lift your chest to the sky. And exhale, come down to a sleeping pigeon. You can bring your head to a block or rest your forehead onto your palms here. And we don't want to be resting onto the right glute here, but really finding length and space between our right glute and the mat. I encourage you to come back to your intention for today's practice. Coming back to these areas of compassion for yourself. Again, the goal isn't to look picture perfect, but to really feel what each pose is doing for our body, making it a full body experience. For this, you can find length through the spine, engaging the core. And on an inhale, really send breath to the outer right glute. Awesome. On your next inhale, lift the torso up once again. Curl the back toes under. Exhale, come back to a three-legged down dog. Right leg lifts. And you can shake it out a bit here, and then lower, coming to a regular down dog. This time, inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Exhale, bend that left knee and stack opening up through the hips, pressing into both palms evenly here. On your inhale, come back to center, bringing the left toes dialing to the ground. And exhale, squeezing the left knee into center and stepping the left shin up between your palms. Coming onto the top of the back foot. Looking over your right shoulder this time to ensure alignment of the back leg. Inhale, lift your torso, really finding length. And exhale, come to a sleeping pigeon on the other side. Again, we really want to lift our left glute off the ground. We don't want to have it just rolling onto the ground, but having intention within this pose. Thank your body for how it's carried you on the mat thus far today. And throughout life, throughout your day, before this practice. Today's Monday, and I know that can be a very intense day for most people. It might not be the day that you're practicing on, but whatever day you're practicing on, just really have some self-reflection, seeing what ways your mind and body have carried you through the week thus far. Take a couple more breaths here. On your next exhale, press the ground away from you, lift your torso, curl the back toes under, lift your right knee. And exhale, hips up high and back, three-legged down dog as your left heel is lifted. Exhale, lower the left foot. And from here, again, engage your core You slowly lower to your knees. Swing the legs to one side. Awesome. As we prepare for staff pose, bring your palms by your sides. If you have some blocks here, you can use those to bring the ground up to you. Really having your toes towards the sky, pressing into your heels here. Inhale as you press away from the earth, engaging your core, lifting your heart to the sky. Exhale, ground down through your hands, your heels, your glutes. Inhale, arms reach overhead. And exhale, come to a seated forward fold. I encourage you to generously bend your knees as your heart leads towards your toes. The goal isn't just to push and crank and grab your feet and force yourself into it, but really finding length through the backs of the legs, length through the spine here. And if your body allows, you can let your head hang loose between your knees. We want to find a generous bend or micro bend in the knees here to really allow the lower back body to lengthen, to loosen, and to find that stretch. Let's take another inhale together. Exhale, letting everything go. Inhale, engage your core. Just slowly lift your torso, rolling up the spine. Plant your palms and move your glutes forward just a bit. As you exhale, come all the way onto your back here. Hug your knees into heart center. Give yourself a big bear hug here. You can rock side to side if that's what your body allows. And as we exhale, we're going to come to happy baby, bringing our palms between our knees, grabbing the outsides of our feet here, bringing the soles of our feet to the sky. And really, we don't want to be on the top of on the back of our head here, but really tucking the chin and finding length through the back of the neck. On the exhale, really pulling your knees towards the mat. And you may want to extend one leg and then the other. This is truly a happy baby pose. It can feel pretty vulnerable. In today's society, we're not used to kind of just playing around and coming back to our childlike self. But I encourage you to do that here today. Let's take another deep inhale together. Belly and ribcage expand. And exhale, squeeze your knees into center once again, giving yourself a big hug. This time you'll keep your right knee in as you extend your left leg as we prepare for a supine twist. I encourage you to really have your left toes pointed towards the ground here. And as you exhale, we're going to journey our right knee across the body and extending our right arm, coming to our right shoulder. If your right shoulder is not touching the mat, I'd say you have gone just a bit too far. And really coming onto the outside of your right ear here, wiggling your right fingertips to bring your gaze towards them. And as you inhale, find expansion through the belly. And as you exhale, journey further into the twist here. Again, don't push or crank or force anything. Just allow the body to move the way it naturally does today. Let's take 2 more breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. Hug both knees into center once again. You're doing wonderful. I'm so proud of you for keeping up with the practice thus far and really staying present in your mind. Keep the left knee hugging in as you extend your right leg. Again, dialing your right toes towards the sky. As you exhale, journey the left knee across the body as you extend your left arm, really coming onto the left shoulder, left ear. Wiggle those left fingertips to find your gaze towards them. And again, as you inhale, send the breath deep into your belly here and find expansion. As you exhale, journey further into the twist. If you do soften or close your eyes, I do encourage you to still come onto and stay onto your left ear here. Let's take a couple more breaths together. Inhale. And exhale, journey further into your twist. Last inhale. Exhale, letting everything go. Hug the knees into center again. As we prepare for our final and most rewarding pose, Shavasana, you'll extend your legs out, having your heels on the mat and having your arms by your side with your palms facing up. Again, just slightly tuck the chin here to find length through the back of the neck. You can let go of your Ujjayi breath and come back to a normal pace of breathing. Allow yourself to truly melt into the mat here. On your inhale, feel the mat rising up to meet your skin. On the exhale, really letting go of any areas of resistance, again, or that judgment that may arise. And again, in today's society, it's really hard for us to find that relaxation because we're always pushing, cranking, go, go, go. Just allow yourself to be here and trust that I'll pull you out of this pose once time is up. Find softening between your eyebrows, pulling the tongue away from the roof of the mouth, slightly parting the lips. Once you're ready, find some slight movement in your body, bringing each finger to your thumb. Starting to wiggle your toes here. Rolling your wrists and your ankles into circles. You can inhale, finding a full body stretch as you reach your arms overhead. Good morning stretch. And there's no rush here. You can pause the video if you'd like. Or once you're ready, bring your feet to the mat. Slowly move your hips to one side as you come to a fetal position. Using your bottom arm as a bit of a pillow here. Find a deep inhale and a long exhale. Let's do one more breath just like that. Once you're ready, use your top arm to push yourself back up into a seat. Swing the leg over, coming back to a Siddhasana, seated position. Bring your palms to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your thumbs to your third eye center. Inhale one last time together. Exhale as we bow in reverence to one another, to ourselves, and to the practice. Om Shanti 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 Om. Peace, peace, peace. The light in me honors and sees, respects the light in you. I want to thank you so much for showing up on the mat today, not only for me, but for yourself. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please leave them down below. This is a donation-based class. I will be leading some classes on a live stream as well as in person. If you have questions for me, I'll attach my email in the comments as well. But I do want to thank you each for, again, really just showing up today. And I encourage you to find what ways you showed yourself compassion, whether that be physically reminding yourself to be present or mentally reminding yourself to be present. Seeing what ways you can use that knowledge and those little bits of wisdom and love off of the mat and in the real world. It's truly a gift to be able to guide you and to have you as a student within my practice. My teaching would be nothing without your practice. So again, I do want to thank you for your time, your energy, and your effort that you showed up here today with. Again, thank you so much. Namaste.